Hey guys, welcome to another episode of TFL Classics. I'm here with our 1991? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
I forgot, it's been a while. 1991 Saab 900 and Toby, our expert mechanic. And Toby went ahead and fixed a ton of stuff on this car because it needed a lot, and I want to kind of talk you through what that was like. So, Toby, let's start out with the car. $2,500 Saab. Is it pretty mechanically solid?
For $2,500 and the turbo under the hood, I would have bought it.
You would have
put
bought
it that way. It needed a little love, but anything of this generation is going to need a little love.
So let's start out with kind of the big stuff. We bought it, it ran, it drove, so more or less. We'll explain that in a sec. Brought it home, and it peed all over the floor, just like horrible puddles of oil. So Toby went ahead and figured out what was wrong with it.
Yeah, basically I inspected it. It was dumping oil out of the oil pump and the front crankshaft seal. And on this vehicle, that's going to be on the very back on the firewall side of things, so it's really tight to work on and see. But once we did get in there, we got it all apart. You could see someone was in there and did not do the best of job resealing it last time. And then after I got it done, it's dry as could be, and it's fixed on that behalf.
Wow.
So no more puddles.
You clearly did some work here because it looks amazing, dude.
Well, you know, you polish it up the best you can. That way you can keep an eye on it and make sure you have no other leaks, you know, to deal with.
It looks really good. So you were saying, and you can kind of see in this video here, it's actually backwards, right? To the front of the engine's this way.
Oh, yeah.
And the oil seal was way at the bottom?
Way at the bottom down here, up against the firewall. So the AC compressor had to be removed. All the drive belts included. Alternator had to be pivoted off to the side over there. And basically remove the harmonic balancer off the front to do the job.
Gotcha.
Yeah, which was a nice custom socket that had to be cut in half to get it done.
So that's how tight the tolerances were?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Wow. And then, so CVs were broken too, right?
Oh, yeah. On this right front, the outer CV boot, which is, you know, holds grease inside of it, the rubber boot was wide open. So I went in there, took it apart, cleaned it all, inspected it, and re-greased it and rebooted it, and she's good to go again.
Nice. Okay,
Yep.
cool. So that was that.
Yep.
It was, here, I'll come over to that side actually. You said there was like a power steering, I think the word you used was like puddle.
Yes.
In the inner fender well. Can you kind of explain what that was?
So basically, you know, this is kind of the inner fender well of the vehicle, and this is the res here, and someone filled it up so much it was basically blowing out of this all over, and it was just starting to come out under the outer fender. It was so bad. So I did clean that all up at the car wash, suck some fluid out, and I believe there might be a very small leak on this vehicle, but I did clean it up spotless, so you can drive it a few weeks, and then we'll double check it for you.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yep.
Okay, so cool. What else? Engine pretty sorted. Boost gauge.
The boost gauge was in up, like you said. You drive it, the gauge should be moving when you're revving it up, giving it a little boost. Nothing was working. So I inspected some vacuum hoses on the engine. I found a few vacuum hoses that must have went to the boost gauge, because once I installed them and I put special little squeeze clamps on them to hold them on properly, and it'll be good to go now.
Nice. So it's showing at least some kind of movement.
Oh, she's getting up there.
Good, dude. That's awesome. All right.
Yep.
So anything else in the engine, or was that pretty much it?
Basically on the engine side of things, that's all I had to mess with. I did that CV boot and I did that engine leak, and other than that, we'll keep an eye on it in a week or two.
Fan, right?
And the fan, you had an issue with one of the auxiliary fans not kicking on. When the car got really hot on 100-degree days, that other fan wouldn't kick on and the car would overheat if that didn't happen. I inspected the fuse panel and one of the fuses was blowing.
Oh, really?
Put a new fuse in it, fans kick on now, all happy.
Okay, cool. And
AC, you know, all that stuff. When you kick the AC on, fans kick on, all that's working.
And it's not blowing the fuse again?
Not blowing the fuse yet.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because if it blows it again, you might have a fan issue.
Yeah.
Yep.
So other issue we had, when you drove down the road, the steering column was basically unusable. Like it would move up and down 3 or 4 inches whenever you tried to make a turn. Tell me about that. What was wrong with that?
That was basically unsafe. Like you said, you try to steer, but Trunks is a slot car. So I had to take it apart to inspect it, and there was a big bearing in top of there to hold the shaft centered. Inside the bearing, there was a bushing, specialty bushing. It was missing. There was nothing in there. It was a bearing and the shaft, and there was about 30 millimeters in between there. Clunk, 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 clunk. I found the bushing online, luckily. They have them available. It was pretty cheap. Got it shipped, put it in. It's beautiful, tight as could be, and you can actually steer it like a human.
Perfect. Yeah.
And not, whoa, 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 whoa.
Not like you're playing Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was probably the biggest deal.
That was the safety issue that I seen.
Anything else that you found when you were kind of underneath it?
There was a few small things. There was, you know, some front suspension's going to have to be replaced down the road on it. There's small leaks out of the shocks.
Right.
And a few other minimal items I put on the list. But overall, for the year and the age of it, I believe the last owners kept up with it and spent some money on it.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I've got got a full video on this channel kind of going through it, but let's talk about the rear, because this is still one issue we got to address, and Toby kind of explored it a little bit. The rear glass has fallen out of the car, and you said that it kind of got some stuff going on.
Yeah, basically there's these little side panels they want you to unvelcro here.
Okay.
And up above here where you can't see, there's a zipper. This whole extra piece of fabric comes down and folds down. So the glass goes in between that fabric and this fabric and sandwiches. In my opinion, this fabric shrank a little bit over time.
Okay.
And now the windshield glass is actually a little bit too short, top to bottom. So the new convertible top shop, what they do is they replace this, and they, you know, have to heat it up and stretch it all and glue it back together with a new piece of fabric up here and zip it back together, and about $1,100 they said, and you'll be back on the road.
Gotcha. All right, so we still got to do that, but
oh yeah,
tires it needs. We've got,
tires, big time.
yep, tires are here. We just got to install them.
Yep.
But other than that, I think it's pretty sorted for a summer cruiser.
I believe it's going to be time for some boosting.
Boosting, yeah. What does it drive like? Is it pretty quick or is it pretty pokey?
It's a little, it's a little torquey at the right RPM. It's kind of weak, but it's also boosting factory boost.
Yeah.
And you know, it's factory, so that's what you got. The automatic, I believe, probably lost some power. If you had a stick,
sure.
if you had a stick, it would be a little better, but it does shift well, and if you keep it at the right RPM, it is smooth.
So we spent about $1,100 here, so we're about $3,600 in, and all together, I mean, it's a lot of car for $3,600.
Big time.
So Toby does a lot of work here at German Auto. You can see with everything Mercedes, Audi, BMW.
Yep.
What is it like working at a Saab, like a 90 Saab versus like a 93 series?
Well, you know, you get vintage, is what they call them nowadays, because there's none left. So working on these, you need special tools,
yeah,
and you need a little know-how to get the job done.
Right.
Other than that, it's not bad. It's just like any vehicle. You just take your time, go slow, and fix it properly.
Okay, is it harder to work on than like an E30 or E36 BMW?
I believe definitely, because the special tools needed, or you have to making a tool to fit the job that you're doing.
Just because everything's the wrong way?
Everything's the wrong way and backwards. Other than that, the BMWs, you know, are pretty smooth compared to these.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, guys, so a little bit of insight. Check out German Auto. These guys are the best at fixing anything German or apparently Swedish now.
I'll fix anything.
Yeah, Toby's like, don't bring the Saabs here.
Yeah, I'll fix it all. I'm not worried.
And head over to tflcar.com because we got a lot more coverage coming with the 900. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, perfect.